18th. Welcome to Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And today I have with me my guardian angel John, and we're going to be talking about the inner coming out. And this is going to be very exciting because this is what's going on in greater part. We're literally watching what we've been putting into our collective unconsciousness for the last 2,000 years now starting to come out. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Good morning, everybody. Just going to there we are. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Allison. Good morning, Vanessa. Yeah, the inner coming out. So I've been feeling really, this energy John's been bringing forth, why things are so askew on the planet socially and politically, is because for the last 2,000 years we've had political systems and social behaviors and social structures and social orders that have been programming us to express ourselves in a very specific way. And today, at this day and age, we find ourselves now in a place where over the last 150 years, we have been directly bombarding our minds with information through mass media mechanisms, unlike any other time in the last 2,000 years, these last 100 years, where we've been literally bombarding our minds with stories and movies and information that is horrible and destructive and scary and frightening. If you look at some of the shows that we've been dealing with, movies, TV today, it's a clear indication of what is coming out of us that we've been carrying around within us for literally thousands of years. And we have to let it go. We have to let go of our anger, our fear, our rage, our jealousy, our disappointment. We literally have to be able to let it go, to really just release it. Not to release it to the world, John says not to release it in the sense you let it out of your system, but to transmute it, to transform those old emotions from what they were into what they can become. If you understand the nature of emotion, then you realize that emotion, whether it is positive or negative, in the last analysis is simply a quality of energy that you express or you do not express. And you call that energy positive energy, or you call that energy negative energy. But that energy is yours to use, misuse, ignore as you see fit. However, most of you are not even conscious that you can differentiate between your thoughts and your emotions and who you are as a being, a spiritual entity living in this material dimension. Yeah. Most of our political policies today, most of our social policies today are based not in love, they are based in fear. Most of your laws, most of your rules, most of your beliefs are based in fear. They're not based in love as the foundation of what every long-lasting civilization has had as its cornerstone. Your civilization is not unlike what you would call the ancient Roman civilization, where there was a society based on control, power, and authority, which is fear, not love. And it too only lasted a few hundred years before its so-called greatness fell to the ground. Yes, you are teetering on the brink of that right now. He's saying we are teetering on the brink of that process right now, where our civilizations are literally poised back and forth like someone on a tightrope going like this between fear and love, but we're not conscious that we can choose one or the other. We're kind of, he says we're just being thrown back and forth by being distracted by the environment as opposed to being inwardly empowered, conscious inwardly of what are your thoughts, what are your ideas. to assume authority over them, to not defer responsibility for them to the world, nor for yourself. Simple actions like taking care of your body. So many of you have not even perfected that. The simple act of taking care of your body, which is not even yours, we might add there, that your body is simply a mechanism that is on loan to you. It's something like a rental vehicle, if you understand that concept, that you haven't even learned how to take care of the vehicle that you are using on loan. He's saying it's going to get very difficult if a shift is not made consciously and deliberately. It cannot be forced. A shift must be chosen. It cannot be forced. He said, he says he's watching all these governments right now trying to force a shift in the human collective unconsciousness. Yeah, saying that they do not understand that the form of force they're using is actually pushing the shift in the direction that they don't want it to go. Much the same way, he's saying, much the same as you watch a child riding a bike and the parent is watching them and they say to the child, don't drive into that lamppost, and the child immediately drives into the lamppost. Yeah, he's saying most of our political bodies are giving the wrong direction. And like a child, many of you are just following without question. It is very important you understand the necessity for honoring what is within you, but start at the fundamental place of honoring your body. So few of you even are conscious about what you eat or what you drink, that your bodies are diseased, and you seek to find amelioration from your suffering outside of yourself. How can you do this? How can you find amelioration outside of yourself? It will only be temporary. It is within you that you will find the solution and the resolutions. You know your own experience that if you are in pain, even on the physical level, that there is something that is incorrect. But on that fundamental level, take a close look at what you are eating and what you are drinking and what you are doing with that instrument, that beautiful instrument that you find yourself sitting and hearing my words. What are you doing with that beautiful instrument? And how are you treating it? Does it feel loved to you? Because if your body is feeling pain and it suffers, it is not loved. For that which is loved does not suffer long at all. All suffering is temporary when embraced by love. And so many of you are struggling to find a way to escape the responsibility of your suffering, because some of you think it is too difficult to overcome. But I can assure you that if you begin to take the steps, your suffering will not be that long, but some of you will perpetuate it even beyond this physical lifetime. You will remember what you have created here and you will bring it forward into another body. Eventually, your lifetimes of abuse will result in very unpleasant living conditions for that expression you will have in a physical medium. Learn to overcome that. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been very feeling this energy from John all day. Like there's so much more that I can do too than I'm doing, and there's so much more we can all do. You know, like drinking lots of good, clean water, eating live, vibrant, healthy foods. Things you can do more of to make your body an instrument that is conducive to what you really are. And you're not your thoughts, you know. He says that's the biggest mess we have right now is our thought world. Yeah, he says our thought world is an utter mess. Yeah, he says it's a complete and total mess on a collective level that we have to clean it up. The propagation of fear is your greatest enemy right now. Yeah, the propagation of fear is your greatest, and it is not the thing that is inside of you, but so many of you are trying to get others to change so that you will feel better rather than changing so you will feel better. You will find that in the many civilizations that fell before these ones, that the exact same process was repeated. And in many cases, it was almost prevented, except that a few of you did not want to surrender your fear of being without control and power over others, believing that control and power over others was the source of your strength, only to discover that was not true. For when you realize that the only strength you have is that in who and what you are being in this moment. Yeah, this energy, like, we are getting short on time. We really need to focus on becoming our best selves. Like, really, and you can do this. Like, what do you eat every day? What do you drink every day? Do you love your body? Do you treat it like a fine animal? Because it is. Your body's an animal body. It's a fine one, refined and incredible. Look, it came preloaded with all the accessories of an immune system that works properly. It came preloaded with a digestive system that processes, assimilates, transforms, and transmutes food into a different element so that it can sustain this system that you exist in, this physical environment. Because that's what your body is. Your body is a physical environment for you as a soul to live in. Yeah. But there's also a lot of excitement, John says. There is a lot of excitement that is coming. For there are many of you that are making this shift. There are many of you that are making this shift. You have recognized the necessity of responsibility, to not allow others to take responsibility for you, but to assume authority and responsibility over yourself. That is so important to understand, that place of personal authority is essential for the whole to thrive. Personal control and authority requires each of you in order for the whole to thrive and survive. Yeah. Like, there are so many higher vibrational beings coming energetically to this planet right now. Yeah. And the information age that we have is a powerful mechanism for being able to move human collective unconsciousness really rapidly from fear to love. He's saying it's one of the reasons it was implemented, was to give us a mechanism that, should we choose to alter our flow of consciousness from love to fear, this mass media system that we have on the planet can really facilitate that rapidly, a shift from fear to a state of love collectively. Yeah, he says groups like the Galactic Federation work in a harmonious vibrational frequency. They have their individual differences and nuances, but they all work from a primary energy of what you would call love, that allows each of them to know and be mindful of their actions and how their actions affect the whole, not simply the part. But the part is always first. The honoring of the self is always first. The foundation of any great organized civilization is always the inner honoring the inner, which in turn affects the behaviors to the outer. Yes. So these great civilizations that are beyond what you call human civilization, they function predominantly from that vibrational frequency of love. Each member of the society recognizes the vehicle that they use when they are in a physical dimension. They recognize the vehicle in a physical dimension and how it needs to be treated in order for that individual to function its expression optimally into the time-space expression they exist in. And there is none that are exempt from the causes and effects of what they do inside their consciousness to their form. They're not separate. They're just different degrees of different aspects of oneself. But we're gaining more speed too. The other thing he says, energetically, we're gaining more speed with these ascension energies that come, these higher vibrational energies that give us a chance to swing really fast from positive to negative. Anyway, let's get into some questions and answers, because again, what we're seeing is the inner coming out on the planet right now. We are literally seeing what has been held within our collective unconsciousness now being revealed. The fear, the force, the fraud, all of these things that you see unfolding on the planet, all of these things unfolding on the planet are literally what we've all been holding in our hearts individually and collectively. And we all need to make a decision, everyone on every level. We need to collectively make a decision to shift from fear to love. Yeah. He says we were also gifted with a body that knows how to deal with the environment better than most of you souls know how to deal with the environment. It has come with almost, he's saying it, almost 1 trillion years of experience stored in biological memory. 1 trillion years of experience stored in biological memory. Biological memory is distributed evenly throughout this timeline of time and space. And so you find yourselves wondering how you know certain things. It is because you have contained all knowledge within you. There's not a chance or an accident. But let us go. Let us see. Good morning. Hello. Hi, Kate. Hi, Drusilla. How you doing? Hi, Enjoy. Enjoy. I like that. Yeah, so important. Question from Drusilla. Are these videos of black-eyed babies and deformed babies from jabbed mothers real? Wow. Yeah, there is a lot of darkness when there is a lot of light. And there is a new fear creates a different vibrational entity than what love does. Yes. Understand this, that the entity, whether it is an entity of a product of fear or a product of love, that the expression is still an expression of life, but its effects in creation are very different. You cannot judge them. They are effects of your collective unconsciousness, allowing certain expressions to be dominant in your consciousness collectively. And so you will see that the inner is coming out. The darkness that all of you hold in your hearts, as well as the light that all of you hold in your hearts, is coming out, all to be seen and displayed. And what one will you choose? Which one will you choose? For everybody is making a choice for different experience, for different reasons. And there is no judgment as to whether one is good nor bad, except by the nature of your own personal experience with your interaction of those different entities. You will call one good or one bad. But again, these are just titles, information given to something that you observe relative to your experience of what it is you are observing. Cool. Great question, Drusilla. Thank you. Hi, Desiree. Good morning. Hi, Kate. Question from Ruth. How to care for feelings, release and protect from fear? Great question. That is a great question, Ruth. And in our mediumship program, we go into our mediumship 102 program. We go very deeply in how do you actually deal with negative emotions. Yeah, it's always been simple. It's what they said. This is why they had us put these courses together. It's very simple. Emotion is simply energy. Emotion, it's like water. You know, you can have a thought. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen those ice cube trays. They're like 12 cubes will be held in a tray, and you can pour water into them, and you get, when the water freezes, you get cubes. But if you take that same water and you put it in an ice cube tray where there's circles, well, you get circles. So the nature of a thought organizes the manifestation of the energy that will be expressed through that thought. So a thought of joy, a thought of excitement, a thought of playfulness organizes the energy of emotion very differently. So you can interact as an awareness, you can interact with your emotions, your feelings differently. If you got feelings of anxiety or depression or sadness, you can literally, from the perspective of what you are as an awareness, because your emotions are not who you are. They're energy that you have inside you that you use to create with. And emotion can either create energies of expression that are good or energies of expression that are negative. But again, we're just giving language to one and the same thing, which is energy. But a simple process, one of what we call the shortcuts for your soul, is to simply identify the quality of feeling that is unpleasant to you, whether that feeling is sadness, or whether that feeling is anger, or whether that feeling is depression. You simply must become aware of the feeling as something that is actually living in your body. It has a localized place in your body. And there is a mechanism of love. You as a being are love, and you as that being can extend love to that part of yourself that does not seem it is very happy. Whether it is depression or sadness, you can simply and delightfully and gently and kindly begin to care about it as you would wish somebody else would care about it. So many of you are suffering and are looking for somebody out there to alleviate your suffering. But you are outside of your suffering. The moment you are aware of it, you are outside of it. And if you extend your love to your suffering, you will be amazed at what will begin to transform and transcend within you. Do this. If you are feeling anxious or you are feeling afraid, stop. Get in touch with it and give that part of you the love and care that you would wish another to give to it. So many of you are seeking to get your love rather than being love. Give your sadness, give your fear, give your joy, give it your love. Watch it transform. Much the same way as we told William that if you take this water, which you call liquid, and you put it in that thing called a freezer, the vibration of the freezer can change this substance called water into a substance you call ice. The vibrational frequency imparted to this liquid changes it from the state of liquid to a state of solid. So too does a vibration that you can understand to be love, when imparted to a vibration of yourself you understand to be fear or sadness or depression, will change the temperature, the vibration, the frequency of those negative emotions. And your true nature is not the emotions that you are experiencing. Your true nature is how you interact with those emotions. That alters and changes the quality of the expression. This is a beautiful thing to consider, and it is actually remarkably simple to do so. It's remarkably simple to change the way you think about your sadness. Instead of being upset and frustrated with it, or not liking this feeling, or not liking that feeling, you can embrace it lovingly and kindly and compassionately and change the temperature of that emotion with your intention. Your true nature is that you can organize, alter, and change emotional energy. It is your natural innate ability to do so, to alter and change energy in the form of emotion from one state to another. Wonderful, beautiful question. Thank you. Well, thank you for that super chat, Priscilla. Really appreciate that. So this is so helpful and handy that you understand this, this concept of emotion, emotional energy. That's all emotion is. It doesn't matter whether it's anger or rage or joy. Emotion is simply energy in motion. It can only express in one of two ways, either positively or negatively. And you as an awareness can change that emotional energy. Even if you're feeling really anxious and afraid, if you start to breathe slowly and deeply, your anxiety, after a few slow, deep breaths, as you relax the body, will begin to diminish. Because now you as the awareness are asserting authority over matter. Very fascinating. Great question. Thank you so much. Question from Adam. Can I ask Archangel Metatron on if it was really him visiting me that caused me to visualize vivid sacred geometry? You already knew the answer to this. That's what he's saying. He's saying you already knew the answer to this, right? But the confirmation helps him. He's saying the confirmation helps him. I understand. Yeah, let's go down here. So that's it. That's just that one little piece today. That, what we're watching in the world, we're watching the inner collective unconscious mind become the outer. What we've been putting into our human minds for the last 120 years, especially with mass media, movies, and television, what you put in is what comes out, right? And now we're seeing how all that fear, all that zombie movies, and all those things that you see, that you've watched on television, so many people don't realize that stuff actually conditions or programs their mind to express in very specific ways. And I remember as a child, when I was watching shows like Rat Patrol and Combat and all these war shows that were out, because during the 1960s, the whole World War II theme was still pretty prevalent in human collective unconsciousness. And so I remember going out and playing like I was a soldier and throwing dirt bombs at one another like they were hand grenades. I was mimicking what I was watching on television. Unbeknownst to me as a child, that's what I was doing. I thought I was actually the soldier. So we've been doing this and putting stuff into our minds and our children's minds now for well over 120 years without even considering the effects of what we put in and how it organizes and restructures human behavior. Anyway, we're watching now all that programming we've seen on TV for the last 150 years, 120 years, I guess, mass media programming, and we're seeing how it's coming out in the world. And now we can look at what we've done and we can decide, is this what we want? Is this what we want as a species? Anyway, it's been really, really exciting morning for me to realize that we are at that place. We are at a crossroads that we get to decide. Choose fear, choose love. Yeah. So have no fear. Just adjust your mind. Like literally start loving the emotions inside. What are these tones? Drusilla's asked, what are these tones and sounds I'm hearing? There are a lot of them. Not just tones and sounds, but there's sounds and sights and colors. But for you, again, it's important you understand how to articulate not the phenomena of what it is you observe with your ears, but the message within that phenomena. There are so many of you that are aspiring to rise above your suffering that you will receive frequencies and vibrations that will help you to align to a higher vibration. Much the same way as you can tune into a song that makes your body dance and move, so too these frequencies, as you request them, come to you to help you elevate your consciousness up, and or to allow yourself to determine what elements of vibration you will not choose to give your consciousness to. But yeah, I'm seeing visual things, a lot of sounds, like I'm seeing like this wispy smoke moving in front of me and flashes of light, and I'm seeing more and more physical, visual phenomena, especially at nighttime. I'll see all kinds of incredible things happening at night. And it's so important to understand that this is a time where the veil is really thin between other dimensions. And that's a lot of light workers are really experiencing that veil opening up, and how you can hear and you can see and you pick into these other things. Yeah, really cool. Thank you so much. Great question. Question from Adam. I wanted to ask Archangel Metatron on how exactly he caused me to visualize so vividly. He said he stimulated your pineal gland. He said he put his energy right into the center of your brain. Into the center of your brain. He stimulated the pineal gland. He says you've been opening that up. And this allows you to see beyond the sensorial dimension. Yes. And there are other things that you've been doing too to aid in this. He's saying there's other things you've been doing to aid in this. What are those other things? He says they're not. He says you know what they are. They're not to be revealed. You know of these things. Yes. Blessings. Yeah, he's got these two staffs. He's got this red staff and a white staff, and he's standing behind you right now, energetically, putting this energy of these two staffs towards you. And the energy stimulates your pineal gland. He says in your meditations, you may see these things. Yes. Feel the energy of these two staves. Yes. Wonderful. Cool. Great question, Adam. Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, this is great. You'll see the new schedule for our mediumship program will be going up on my website later today. So I'll look forward to seeing some of you in the upcoming mediumship program, which will begin in about 2.5 weeks. Also, I want to say thank you to everybody who submitted questions for the second Bible with Master Jesus. On Friday evening at midnight was the cutoff. So thank you to everybody for your questions. We're starting that project as we speak, and we're really excited about how that's going to go. And I want to wish all of you much love. Thank you for tuning in today, and I will see you on Wednesday's editions of Shortcuts for Your Soul. And yes, it is a human hayride. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you on Shortcuts for Your Soul on Wednesday. Bye for now.